Hi guys, I am Molly West, the Sensible Stitcher, and welcome back. It's been a while. It's so good to see everybody, and I think that this is the first time I've made a floss tube actually from my sewing room, but I wanted to do it in here today because I decorate my sewing room with saved stitches. Nothing in here. I think I've got one piece in here that I've stitched myself, but the entire rest of my sewing room is decorated with, well, these little table sides I stitched, but the big pieces, they've all been found stitches that I've either, they had a frame or I had a frame for them. And some things I even take to the framer. So anyways, I have two pieces back from the framer that are saved stitches. And so I thought I would film in here today. It seemed to make the most sense. So I am gonna go ahead and get started with my FFOs. And part of the reason is because I went yesterday to pick up 4 pieces from my local Michael's, and I took one piece in to get it framed, and when I got there they were having a 70% off framing sale. And so I dropped that piece off, and then I came home and got 2 other things ready and took them up there to go get framed. And so check your local Michael's, guys. I think that what I've read is that custom framing at Michael's kind of nationwide is 70% off through this upcoming Saturday. So this floss tube is as much a PSA for framing as anything else, because I had some big ones that I'd been setting aside because of costs, and I ran them up there. So get your framing done if you want to, but it's really budget friendly right now. So I'm gonna get started with my found pieces, my saved stitches that I typically find at estate sales. I like looking at estate sales, and occasionally I'll go to like an antique shop, but anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So I found this piece at an estate sale. No, I'm sorry, I found this at an antique shop. And the part that was stitched was everything inside of the blue, and she had trimmed it out. Whoever stitched this, it's so pretty, and it was stitched on very fine linen. Whoever stitched this did a hem stitch around the outside of it, and it looked like it was a piece of table decoration or something, and it's on really beautiful linen. And so what I did was I found a piece of linen that was similar in color, and I went through and tacked down. I only hit one linen thread from the front so you wouldn't be able to see it. And I used the color 822 so that the thread would also disappear. And I tacked it down onto my own piece of linen, and then I took that piece of linen in to go and have it framed. And I think it is so beautiful. I just absolutely love it. So this one will also hang in this room here, but it's beautiful. I found the linen. I got a very, very simple brown frame. All the frames in here are brown with the exception of, I think, 3 gold frames. So it should look beautiful in here. I'm very, very excited about it. The second piece that I saved is I have some red work in New Mexico, and I frame it the same. Our walls there are like really pretty, really nice old wood paneling. It's not like the flimsy, less expensive stuff. It's really beautiful wood paneling. And so I don't want to do anything to that, but I do like a lighter, brighter room is my preference. So what I've decided to do instead is to spend a lot of time stitching like red work and things like that and framing it in bright white so that it kind of adds some lift to that room. So I've done that, and I have other pieces that are framed exactly like this one, but this is a found stitch. I found this in an antique shop, and it was hanging with like table linens and things. And it's an old Pusilla sampler. I looked it up and it is so beautiful. It has a lot of embroidery stitches and it is so nice. I think I want to say I paid $12 for it. And it is just beautiful. So I'm hanging this one with my other red samplers in New Mexico. So that will not go in this wall. It does not fit in with the aesthetic in this particular room. So I got those two back and those were both saved stitches, which is really fun. And I love the thought of somebody finding one of my pieces and treasuring it. It really appeals to me that it won't just get thrown aside, that somebody someday will find value in my own stitch work. So thinking of these pieces in that way, I really try to honor them by pressing them, blocking them, framing them, and putting them on my wall. And I'm the only one that's in here that enjoys them, but I love all my pieces so much. So this is something that I did for my daughter's bathroom. And I've worked on these two on and off for a really long time, but they are finally back from the framer. They are both by Blackbird Design. It's Octopus Garden Yellow and Yellow Submarine by Blackbird Design. I changed everything about these and they are so cute and so fun. And so they'll sit like this in her bathroom. So I'm very, very excited about these. These are the only ones that I had framed without glass. The area where they're gonna be hanging is all it has in it are the sinks. So they won't be exposed to like shower water or any type of extra moisture, but they're super cute, super simple, just a bright white frame. And I think that they look like a kid's bathroom. I think they're just adorable. So that is it for my FFOs. And I am gonna pause here. I'm gonna have to get up and kind of change things around. It has been so long since I've filmed that number one, I'm out of practice. And number two, my stuff is scattered. And so bear with me, folks. Be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna show some haul. I ordered, keep in mind, this haul is over the last probably 2.5 months. It has been a really long time since I have filmed Flosstube, but I've made a couple of purchases from Stitchery. So I'm gonna show everything that I've gotten over the last couple of months from Stitchery. These are not all market releases. Some of these things I've had for a while. In February, I ordered 3 charts by the Posy Collection. So I've got Blue Monday, Field Hand, and Sweet Grass Basket. And they are gorgeous. They are so pretty. They're full kits. I mean, I just need a needle. In fact, sometimes they even have the needle in there. So I'm super excited to get these started. We'll see when that happens. I've started several things, so, but I have them on my radar for sure. And then here are some of the things that I bought just recently. This is from October House. Floretta sampler. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, so pretty. I bought this. I have a child that has an affinity for corgis. Plum Street, knocking it out of the park again with their piles of pups. Oh, so cute. Okay, this is so beautiful. I think that I saw EJ from the Sunshine Stitchers show this, and I bought it when she did. It is Quaker Flowers by RETM. Of course, everything that they do appeals to me. So pretty. So I love that. Oh, I love this one so much. This is Ruth by the Queenstown Sampler Designs. They are just phenomenal. Gosh, look at it. gosh, it's gorgeous. I'm gonna set this one aside. This one feels like I need to get needle to thread really quickly with that little humdinger. Okay, here's this little cutie. Who made you? Summer House Stitch Works. Hello and goodbye. It's the puppy one. They also had a cat, but this reminds me of my dog, Patty. And so I ordered this. So cute. So a huge thanks to Guerin Stitchery for all of that. Love it. Love my things from them always. Quickest service ever. All right, let me grab, there's more. Let me grab some more of my haul. This is from, I haven't even opened it yet. I was saving it. I was afraid it would get misplaced. I like to organize everything by designer, and so I'm just now opening all of my haul so that it wouldn't get shuffled in with the designers before I had a chance to show it. All right, what do we have here? Oh, these things are so beautiful. Okay, so this is the months of the year, and Di Cecilia Vota, it's an Italian company. And if I'm not mistaken, Sarah the Stitching Mommy is stitching something by this same company, and they are now being carried by 123 Stitch. So I bought, look at those little bunnies. Those are the sweetest things in the world. That is the sweetest thing in the world. I'm also gonna set that aside. That needs to be stitched. Here's a little cross stitcher. She's amazing. I love cross stitch. It's aptly named. Here are some more of those precious little bunnies. I'm setting all these aside. I think these are so cute. I don't know what it tells you to stitch these on, but I sure do think they would be pretty precious on something tiny. All right, samplers not forgotten, Detro sampler. Oh my goodness, y'all. Gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Oh, so pretty. Okay, Reflet de Soie. This, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that if I had to only stitch two companies, the ones that I would pick would be Veronique Enganger, which is French, and Reflet de Soie. They are my favorite. They are so beautiful. Oh my stars. Check it out. There's the name. And look at how gorgeous that is. It is 368 by 265. And there are only, I would say, about 16 colors. Gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have never seen this one before, so I don't know if it's a new release or what. There's the name of it. And there it is. Look at that seam. This one, however, does have quite a few colors. Worth it. Look at it. Oh, beautiful. I have a couple of Reflet de Soies on the go right now that are sizable. So I would love to be able to get one of them to a near finished and one of them a little closer to a halfway point before I start a new one. Oh, Leela Studios. Look at this. I'm going to set one of these aside. I bought two of this. I don't know how that happened. Look at how beautiful. There's the name of it. And there she is. Oh, so pretty. Okay, Twin Peaks Primitives had the cutest Easter book this year. Check it out. Look at that. I say it's this year. Got it with all my haul. Yes, it's this year. It's super, super cute. These are tiny little smalls. They're completely opposite of the Gigantor Reflet des Soies that I've been showing. So those are beautiful. And I have this from Needlepoint Treasures. What could be in here? And that's in Los Angeles. What did I order? Oh, fabric. It is, this is just some, I guess I needed, this is definitely just a piece of, what is that called? Vintage Country Mocha. But it's a big piece. It's pretty. I guess I was needing some more of that. I bought the Cottage Garden samplings, these little animals. I have two other ones and I'm not sure where I've put them, but I also bought this little squirrel, which was from a different one of their series, but I figured if there were any of the animals that I didn't much care for, he would be a really cute substitute, and I could maybe do away with this and add one of their little cabins in here, because this one's from, I think it's called like A Year in the Woods, and one of the common happenings is like a little cabin. And so I think this would be easy to convert if there happens to be an animal that I'm not wild about. So far, they are all adorable. Then I got some of the sweetest Happy Mail guys from Kathy. You know who you are. You are so sweet. And look what she sent me. Nobody has viewers like my viewers. I'm sort of a boutique channel. We have less than 1,000 of you guys come to watch me, but y'all are the sweetest ones out there. So I am so thankful for each and every one of you. Look what this precious woman sent me. Look, Mary Clayton, Hands Across the Sea. That's not all. Prepare yourself. Okay, I'm just gonna let you read the name. I mean, y'all, this is so beautiful. Look at that sampler. Look at that reproduction sampler. The Mad Sampler Design Company, Margaret Weemise, maybe. It is so beautiful. Kathy, you outdid yourself. Milady's Needle, In Search of Bliss. Look at that beauty. Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. Is that it? No, that's not it. Barbara Anna Designs, A Wicked Plant. I love it so much. Plum Street Sampler, Hello Summer. Beautiful. That's still not all, y'all. The Berry Bowl Sampler, which I don't have any of these. I mean, she just hit this right out of the park. This is Heartstring Samplery, which is just one of my absolute favorites. Esther by Kathy Barrett. Look at that. Of course, Kathy does no wrong. That is so beautiful. My stars. Victoria Sampler Company, Harbor Village. Oh my goodness. Look at the detail here, guys. There are children playing. This is just right up my alley. And it looks like the size is up my alley. Let's see. What size are you, friend? you are 224 by 140. It is gorgeous. Heartstrings, the strawberry season. Look how sweet that is. Beautiful, beautiful. And she included the little card for Mary Clayton for all of the colors. So generous. I mean, I have the sweetest, and by the way, I have had several of you reach out and contact me to see if we were doing okay, because I made a New Year's resolution to hurry right back, and that I would be right back to hang out with y'all. And I failed. We got COVID. I cannot tell why. We got COVID and we got sick, and you know, my mother-in-law, it hit her particularly hard. We were all vaccinated, but some people just recover more quickly than others. And so she spent some time in the hospital, and she spent some time in a rehab facility, and thankfully she is back home. But it was a really busy time for us. And right after that video kind of was when everything took a turn. And so I appreciate y'all's patience, but the fact that you guys reached out to me meant so much. Y'all are so sweet. And because it's been so long, I don't know exactly where any of my whips were the last time that I showed them to you, but I'm gonna just do my best on this video. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna grab some of my new starts and some of my whips. Because Michael's is having a framing sale, a lot of my finishes are off being framed. So I don't think I have any finishes to show you today, but I've got stuff. There's plenty of stuff I can show you. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna put all this mess away. Bye. Okay, so I've gotten a couple of new starts since I saw you last, and so I'm gonna show you those first, I think. One of the things that I started, I really have been kind of craving something that I can work on in carpool line and when I'm busy and does not require a whole lot of thought. We've been having lots of just doctor's appointments. I don't know what the deal is. It must be the time of year, but like I've got 3 dental appointments coming up for my kids and just doctor's appointments and all kinds of stuff. So I wanted something that required very little brain power. I got One Nation by Bygone Stitches. And my goal during spring break was to get enough of this bit filled in that I can just start kind of coming across and just working on like rows of stitching. And I will do things that require counting, like when I'm sitting in my stitching chairs, and then just straight, I mean, that's a lot of stitches just making those straight lines across. And so this was my start. This was my spring break start, and it might take me a really long time to finish it, but there is something about this one that even though it is big, it travels fine. I just leave it in my bag. There are 3 colors, and when I'm just sitting in a carpool line, this is perfect. I can just pull out some thread and get started on it. So spring break, I worked on the blue, and since then I have put in, not a lot, but just a little bit of my, doesn't want to go back in there, a little bit of the surround. Let's see. And I am stitching this on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha Lugana. And I have it on a full yard, so at some point I'll be able to cut things off, but I'm just gonna stay like this. This is how far I've gotten. And it's actually a lot of progress considering the size of this chart. And I know some people do like a state a week or something like that. The Lancashire Stitcher, she like came up with a schedule and stuck with it, which is so inspiring. I loved that. But my current schedule on this is to take it places where I think that I am gonna need to split my attention. So anyways, that's fantastic. I'm excited about it. It is gonna be absolutely beautiful when it's finished. I already know where I'm gonna hang it. The next piece that I have gotten a small start on is Silver Creek Samplers Back to the Grind. And I am using a new to me linen. It is 32 count vintage smoky white Belfast. Here's the design, and there's my, I almost always pull the sticker off and then stick it on my chart just so that I don't forget. Or I try to do that. If I don't, I write it down. And here's my start, and this is gonna go in our kitchen. And I am making it for my husband because he loves coffee so much. He fresh grinds beans every single morning. He loves coffee. And I'm using all the called for colors. It's just DMC, and it has been a very wonderful and easy start. So that's gone really, really well. Those are my two new starts. And then, so I've got a needle flopping out. Okay. Then one thing that I plan to start but have not yet started is, this was a gift from my husband for Valentine's Day. And it is so beautiful. This came from, where did this ship from? I want to say maybe, I know it was in Europe. This came from Europe. And it is just, oh, it was from Holland. It shipped from Holland. And it came with the entire kit. I'm not sure if it's Thea or Thea Governor. It's her design. There's her name. And the name of this is, I believe it is like the Rose Sampler. Let's see. It does not say. It's number 2043. And we struggled to find this. I've wanted to stitch this and I've wanted to own this for a really, really long time. It came as a kit. It is very old. It's an old kit. So the flosses I have all right here. They're ready to go. The fabric, when it arrived, it was stained. And considering the age of this piece, I think that this is maybe from like the 80s. And considering the age of this piece, I'm totally fine with it. So I am actually re-kitting it with some 40 count not linen, even weave, 40 count even weave, Vertil. And I have a yard of this, and I am planning to coffee tea dye it to get it to the right color. I've had this in my stash for a really long time, and because this came in a kit and because I'm not going to be able to replace any of the linen, I think that stitching it on a much smaller count will make me feel better about the fact that I'm not going to run out of my colors. So that is my plan. It arrived very late February, early March, and I don't have a date yet as to when I'm going to start it, but I just think it is so different and so pretty. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's an upcoming new start. It probably should have been in stash, but because I already have it in its own project bag and ready to go. Let's see, I also worked this February. I've kind of put it away since February is coming on, but I've been working on Blackbird Designs. It's from this book for my friend, and it is this sampler, Love One Another. And Oh, I've moved my Q-snap, guys. I'm so sorry. So I worked down this way and then I started working on the lettering and making sure, basically, these are my first little marking stitches, so that the next two things I'm going to stitch are these two larger designs. Then I'm going to go upward. And when I do move up, I have a preference. I am making some changes to this. The color that I am using is Antique White Linen, 36 count by Zweigart. And I am using Needlepoint Silk Chinese Red Range, and it's color number 503. And it's so pretty. There are mild variegations in the thread, but I mean, it's just so beautiful. So the thing that I love so much, let's see if I can show you. I really love this heart. It has some specialty stitches in it, and I think I'm going to stitch it over here. I think I'm just being maybe a little bit neurotic. I know that this adds visual interest, that it's different, but because everything else is symmetrical, I think if everything were a little different, or if there were other idiosyncrasies throughout, then it would appeal to me more. But I've decided I'm just gonna duplicate this heart on this side. So the next two things I'm planning to stitch are this and this. Those are my next two motifs on the sampler, but I got a lot done. I did finish this motif in the middle. And what else? And that's it. And part of the birds over here. So anyways, we're moving right along. Sometimes when there's a whole lot of negative space, I am a slow and methodical counter. So just even getting from this motif over to here, I mean, takes me probably 3 times longer than it would take the average stitcher. I'm a slowpoke when it comes to that. Let's see. And then I have also worked on, where's my pattern here? This is a long dog sampler, and it is called Virtue. And I have gotten, let's see, I have gotten quite a bit done on this since you saw it last. In the top third and in the center section, I've gotten a good bit stitched in, and I plan on focusing on this one for the next several weeks. This is going to be a heavy, heavy focus of mine. Because they're having that frame sale, I took the companion piece to this, which is finished, in to go get it framed, and I had them just order a second of the exact same size frame. And so my plan is to stitch this one to completion as quickly as possible. For one thing, I wanted to have it finished in April for Autism Acceptance Month. For any of you that are new here, my oldest daughter, my middle child, but oldest daughter is autistic. And so I have stitched a couple of long dog samplers in honor of acceptance of neurodiversity. And so this, I need to focus, guys. I've got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. So root me on, okay? Here we go. In fact, I'm going to work on this as soon as my video, probably while my video is loading. Let's see what else I've been working on. Let's see what other distractions I've had. Oh, I've been working on this gorgeous beauty. Oh, how much do I love her. Poof, she is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And I am still working on the parrot. And that's okay. She is so pretty that I enjoy pulling her out. Look at her color list. She's got, there are 1 or 2 colors on there, but that is why she's so spectacular. And this is how far I have come. Nothing is ironed. I would apologize, but that's okay. isn't that bird looking great? And I've started that border and we're just moving right along. A lot of the bird has been filled in since the last time you saw this. And I'm still not finished with it, and that's okay. I'm just gonna take my time. This piece is, let me tell you the dimensions real quick. This piece is 317 by 327, so I'm gonna show myself a whole lot of grace on finishing this up. It is confetti heavy. It is, oh man, is it beautiful. So I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 45 years of my life while I work on this. But this year I'm finishing that parrot. That's all I'm committing to, a parrot. Okie doke. Let's see what else I've been working on. I have worked on this pretty little thing. I have not been keeping up with my Mirabilia Mondays, so I need to get back in the swing of that. I've been working some Sundays with individuals, with adult individuals with special needs. And so I get them to and from church and get them kind of prepped and ready for their week to come. So on Mondays, sometimes I'm kind of worn out, but I am still working on some of my Mirabilias. I've got this one on the go, and I've put some stitches in here. And she is looking so pretty. I'm still working in her dress, but she's moving right along, y'all. I just keep making a little bit of progress at a time. She'll get there. These Mirabilias are big. Nora Corbett's are so sweet and cute, and then these Miras are pretty big. I'm gonna pause this. My mother-in-law was trying to call me, so I'm gonna go make sure that she's okay. Okay, sorry, we had an oxygen tank hiccup in our giddy up. That happens. Okay, so next up, boy, this is really close. I need to just finish this, guys. Is my SL 1862 small sampler. And the last time that I worked on it, I got very finished to completing this middle bit, middle third. It is so pretty. I am stitching this on 36 count R&R Abecedarian with not the called for colors. And I need to finish the bird. This bird right here has a matching bird, and the middle third will be complete. And then I have one more bit on this side, and she will be ready for the framers. And I worked some on my GGR Brigid Power. She's so beautiful. I burned out on this one, and that's okay. I mean, that just happens. I've invested a lot of time into it, and I got down into some 1/1, and it was fine, but I found that I was constantly looking to find something else to stitch on, and so I need to plan to, the next time I get a break in work where I'm able to focus on something for like multiple days in a row and not have quite as many interruptions throughout the day, I'm gonna focus on this. That's when I plan to bring her back out. So maybe, since I'm working with a school group, I'll have June and July and part of August off. So this might be a fun thing to pull out a lot during the summer. Plus, my fabric is so summery. This is Moon Glow 32 count Lugana by Picture This Plus. And this is where I am. And she's looking so good. The top bit you've seen, and I've been working down in this area, And we've got, oh, there's my needle. We've got some 1/1 words, and then bits of the tassel are 1/1. And so I'm continuing on. I still love it. The last time you saw this, I still had about 1 page left, I think over in this area to finish. And so since you've seen it, I have finished that page, and then I have added almost an entire extra page. So we're getting there. I've got 6 of the, how many pages total are there? 3 times 5, 15. So I finished 6 of the 15 pages, almost 7. So we're getting there, and I love this fabric. It's yellow, but for some reason, with all of those autumnal colors, it just reads really pretty. Like, let me put it, once it's framed, just that little bit of yellow peeking through. Oh, I think it's gonna be beautiful, guys. It's not quite so in your face with all the, you know, this just reads yellow, but with all those other autumnal colors mixed in, I just think it is so pretty, just having that little yellow showing through. So anyways, pretty, and I'm still working on it. It is definitely still on my radar, but I work on such big projects that sometimes I'll finish a page or 2 and then put them away for a while. And that happens to be one of those. Let's see what this one is. Oh, here's another, this is another one of my Reflete Soie pieces. And I've made really good progress on this since the last time you guys saw it. It's a Lita Palpin, and I am stitching this on 36 count light mocha. And so I changed the fabric color. The fabric that they chose is really pretty. It has lots of kind of pastel splotches all over it. And I was looking to go towards more of like a traditional sampler color palette than the kind of white with those spring pastel colors. And I would say several of the colors that they've selected in here are a little bit like that pink is, there's kind of a, I don't know, there's a spring palette. There's kind of just a pastel palette to it. So I have changed, and for example, my, the pink that I selected is Red Pear by Weeks Dye Works, which it is just so beautiful. So since you all saw this last, I have just done a ton. I have completely recharted. I'm not, Alita, I love ya. I left your name out. It was really big. And so I have instead charted in a, let's see guys, I'm gonna fold it in half this direction. I have added a floral motif to the bottom, 2 crosses at the bottom since this is kind of a Catholic Christian piece, and just doodads and whatnots in the same colorway as everything else. Since you all saw it last, I've done a lot of the border, and I have added this rose, I have added this bird, this berry bowl. I know that I have worked on this part of the altar. Let me show you where I am. So this is the part that I'm omitting, is her name across I mean, it takes up like a 1/4, and I just found some beautiful motifs that I really liked from this book. I feel like that worked out great, and I'm happy with what I came up with. So this is where it is. I still have 1/2, the mirroring half to do. And so I would say I'm getting very, very close to halfway here. And she's looking really pretty. I need to fill in the stuff above the altar, but it's like candlesticks and crosses and things. It won't take long. But she's getting really, really pretty. I'm enjoying it still. And the last few times I've pulled it out, I've mostly worked on recharting the bottom, which I would say is what, half, anyone that does that on occasion knows it's about half planning time and half stitching time. Seems like it takes just as long to figure out where everything is going. Okay, so that's it for my current whips, and I'm gonna put you on hold again and go show you a few things that are kind of on my radar for possibilities of upcoming stitches. So I'll be right back. Okay, so one of the things that happened is that yesterday I finished and took in for framing my butterfly piece. It's out of this book by Veronique Angenger, and I know that some of my books by her can be hard to find. I've been collecting them since I started as soon as I started cross stitching. It was one of the very first purchases that I made was her book, and I have collected, I think I own every single one of her books. And so I realized that some of these are harder to find, but they're just so beautiful. I can't resist stitching them. Sorry about that. I just finished these butterflies and I dropped them off yesterday for framing. Mine will not be in a wall hanging like that, but they will be framed really, really simply. And they turned out so beautiful. Oh my gosh, they're so delicate and just lovely. I love everything in this little book. It is a great book. So I traditionally have like 2 of her pieces going at the same time, and recently finished up a couple kind of in succession. So I'm thinking about which of her pieces I want to do next, and sort of in the spirit of Easter, I do have her Beatrice Potter book, which is absolutely beautiful, and there are so many lovely designs in here. Let me see if there are any. They're harder to see. Let me see if there are any others. There are photographs of them. They are so beautiful. There's something about her pieces that are so just delicate and feminine and just so lovely. Her, I have finished one of her samplers before, and they will just take your breath. Her work is just, I might be biased, but I think that her work is unparalleled. Gosh, she has beautiful things. So anyway, I'm very excited to see, to look into this book. I also have a Beatrice Potter needlepoint book, which could I could easily convert using some similar colors. And so if I end up doing something and I want some little background bits, I can always use that as a reference. And then let's see, in here, I also am looking at, this is one of her books. It's about, like gardening and outdoors. And in this book, I particularly liked this piece. My husband is a gardener, and every year he grows, you know, just tons of tomatoes. And I think that piece is really beautiful. So I was thinking about making that for him, but I'll probably wait until I finish the Silver Creek samplers back to the grind, and then I might work on this one for him. And another one that I have on the radar is so beautiful. Oh, her stuff is just, it's just amazing. So it's out of this book. Y'all, I cannot speak French, so I'm just flashing the names of these things so that you can look them up. But it's from this book. And the one in here that it will just take your breath, is that little redheaded girl. I have a redheaded child, so maybe that's what appeals to me so much about that. And I actually already bought the fabric for this. So I am planning on starting this one very soon. I love it. I am just in love with that girl. So I have a piece of just plain white fabric. I stitch. I almost exclusively stitch her pieces on white because there are a lot of color changes, and the I just feel like the pieces just kind of stand out a little bit better on bright white. And then, you know, if you don't want to hang bright white on your wall, you can always do some sort of like a more ornamental framing. So anyways, and then I also would love to start 1 or 2 new red work pieces. I only have one on the go right now, and it is the Blackbird Designs piece. And I do enjoy working on it, but I struggle with silk. I mean, I wish I worked with silk more regularly so that it didn't feel, it feels a little bit cumbersome to me, but I mean, it's smooth and it's wonderful and I like it. I'm just not accustomed. I'm used to that sturdy old cotton that I just, you know, it can move quickly, and that's what I'm used to. And so with silk, I feel like I don't move as quickly. So I was thinking about starting a second like red sampler for just so that I can have a second one on the go. And there are some really beautiful ones in this Ooh La La book by Blackbird Designs. There are kind of smaller pieces in here that are just kind of cute and simple. And so I'm gonna keep this one in mind. And then I have several by Reflet de Soie, which are a little bit, they're still very simple. There's still plenty of negative space. Lettering goes quickly. They're just larger in size. This one's 163 by 216, which isn't very big, but it's so pretty. This one's larger. This one is 374 by 382. But isn't it pretty? There's something about the balance of this bottom thing, the way that it feels almost bottom heavy. There's such balance to this piece that really appeals to me. Even the way that the interior borders sort of become thicker and thicker as the letters become heavier and more pronounced. This is really pretty. I love this one. Oh, I'm sorry, let me show you the names. This one, here's the name. This one's pretty too. It has a border that has green and pink in it. Which I think would be really kind of unexpected and different and fun on a red work wall. To have just like one piece that has a couple of other colors thrown in. And then of course, if I want to get real adventuresome, oh, I've loved this piece forever. It's 345 by 421. And it's just the most, I mean, it just will knock your socks off, guys. It's so beautiful. Oh, ink circles. Big Red Ship of Life. They have, I think they've got the small red ship, and then they've got another one with like a super fun, quirky name. So go look at ink circles, because I think they've made one that's even more compact, and I think it has some sort of like a little snarky name with it that's really cute. And then I've got this one, which is out of a magazine. I think I've shown some of these before. This one, I think, was originally, I don't know which magazine this is from. Let's see. Well, the designer is Birds of a Feather, and the name of it is Rooster Wall Hanging. And it's from an old magazine. And this one reminds me so much of one that Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery recently put out. His had a different balance to it, but it does have letters, and the rooster is super similar to this one. So if you like this one and can't find it, go check out Modern Folk Embroidery, because it has a very similar kind of appeal to it, and it's really, really neat. And then this one I'm loving right now. I've been watching some of my Flosstube favorites. I've been doing some black work, and so I'm kind of thinking I need to bust this out. It has Ada in there, so I would replace the fabric, I think, just because I can go so quickly if I'll just use Lugana. But it's so pretty. It's really different. I've seen someone post on Pinterest that one finished, and this one's by Pana. Oh, actually, I don't know what the situation is right now with some of their designs. You might be able to find it on 123 Stitch, but that one may or may not be a go. This one's beautiful. It has 2 colors in it. It's a Kathy Barrick. It has brick and taupe. And it's 203 by 249. It's very deceptive. There's something about the feeling of this one that reminds me a bit of the Blackbird Designs Love One Another. It has lettering up top. It has 3 motifs across. It's super symmetrical and balanced, and then more lettering at the bottom. I could just use the exact same silks and the exact same fabric choice, and they would be really cute and, you know, hanging near one another, almost like companion pieces. They're so pretty. Okay, so those are some of the red works that I have on my radar, and other than that, I may get started on a couple of Easter smalls, and some of the ones that I've pulled for that are my Fancy That folk art bunny. He's super weird and cute. Oh my goodness, these are so beautiful. These little eggs by Homespun Elegance. So those would be fun to get working on. I think those are kind of the only Easter ones I have pulled out right now. So anyways, we'll see what's next. I haven't been doing as many smalls lately. In fact, I just haven't been stitching quite as much lately. And when I do, I've been pulling out some of my really big pieces. So anyways, I hope that everybody is doing well. My family is doing great. We seem to be back into a bit of a routine, and there are 8 weeks left of school. Not that I'm counting. But it has been an adventuresome spring so far, and I am looking forward to a very, very peaceful and relaxing summer, and I'm really ready to get stitching back on a more regular schedule. And I hope that everybody's doing great, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye.